I still miss someone. Why you might feel this way. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe and ring the bell for more videos. Missing someone hurts. The ache of yearning for another person can cause you to experience sadness, emptiness, despair, or a deep sense of absence. Most people understand that these feelings are normal following the loss of a loved one, or when a close friend moves away. It can be a lot more confusing to feel this way when you find yourself longing for someone after ending your relationship with them. Why would you still miss someone you don't want to be with anymore? You might feel this way because of a sense of nostalgia. Or you might miss certain things about the person. You might even miss the person you were in that relationship. This article explores what it feels like to miss someone and how it can be challenging to let go of them, even if you don't want them in your life anymore. What missing someone feels like. Missing someone often feels like a physical ache in your chest. You might feel sad or even angry. When you are missing them, it might seem like you're not able to concentrate on anything else. You might find yourself thinking about the person all the time, and you might want to talk to them or see them again. You might find yourself shedding tears when you think about this person. Or you might be tempted to pick up the phone and call or text them. While these feelings can be confusing, it is important to remember that such emotions are not unusual or uncommon. Missing someone might also cause changes in appetite, difficulty sleeping, feelings of isolation or loneliness, loss of interest in activities, physical ailments such as muscle tension or upset stomach, trouble concentrating. Sometimes these are temporary feelings that come and go or lessen as time goes on. In other cases, some of these feelings might be symptoms of depression. If you have been experiencing sadness, hopelessness, loss of interest, and a loss of pleasure that lasts longer than 2 weeks, you should talk to your healthcare provider. Recap. Missing someone hurts, both mentally and physically. It might even feel like you are missing a part of yourself. Why you still miss someone. Life is full of changes, including changes in relationships. It's natural to miss someone who is no longer part of your life. You may also miss the idea of a person. The person in relationship served a purpose in your life, so when things change, it's natural to miss what your life and routine were like when that person was part of it. Relationships are a fundamental part of life, but that doesn't mean that they always work out. When these bonds are broken, you may experience painful feelings of longing. 1. You might miss someone because you wish they could be part of your life again. They were once your best friend. You shared many fond memories. You still care about them. You miss their company. That person was once an essential part of your life. Even though you no longer see them, it is perfectly normal to miss the good things that they brought to your life. You may still find yourself looking back and thinking about them. And in retrospect, the good parts of the relationship might loom larger in your mind. The problems that caused you to end the relationship seem distant and less significant, now that you are no longer faced with them each day. Whether your relationship was a friendship or a romantic partnership, the loss of the connection can leave you feeling like there is an emptiness in your life. These emotions can be even more intense if the other person ended the relationship. In this case, you might also feel ashamed, hurt, or angry, even though you still miss the other person. But it is also essential to recognize that you can feel this way even if you were the one to initiate the goodbye. This doesn't mean that you regret ending things. Instead, it might simply mean that you miss the relationship's companionship and will eventually be ready to form new relationships with other people. I still love my ex. What can I do to get over this feeling? Effects of still missing someone. Feeling like you still miss someone can take a toll on your well-being. In addition to the sense of longing and emptiness that you might be feeling in the short term, you might also find yourself experiencing other problems, including anxiety, depression, isolation, loneliness. Learning how to manage the end of a relationship is considered a vital development task during late adolescence and early adulthood. At some point, most people experience either breaking up with someone or being broken up with. How these relationships end, research suggests, can impact future emotional health. According to one study, understanding the reasons for the breakup was associated with better emotional outcomes and greater relationship competence. Such findings might indicate that even if you do miss the other person, it is essential to understand why you feel that way and why the relationship ended in the first place. 2. Recap. Missing someone can impact your emotions and may contribute to feelings of loneliness or depression. Taking steps to understand why you miss someone can provide insight that might benefit your future well-being. What to do if you're still missing someone. Missing someone can be a difficult feeling to deal with. In addition to loneliness or sadness, you might also feel regret. Fortunately, there are ways to minimize the painful emotions of missing someone and get on with your life. Give yourself time. If you still miss someone, remind yourself that you may need time. The longing you feel is likely to be more intense right after the relationship ends, but will gradually wane as time goes on. Remember to be kind to yourself. It's a natural reaction to miss someone, so try not to put added pressure on yourself to move on right away. Find social support. Social support is essential for mental well-being. Spend time with friends and family. Talk about how you feel with trusted friends and family. This will help you feel less alone and more connected to others who understand what you are going through. Find time for fun. Engage in activities that make you happy. Find new hobbies or activities that you enjoy. This provides a distraction from your emotions, but it can also help you focus on your own needs and interests. Take care of yourself. Ensure that you're not neglecting your needs and well-being. Eat nutritious meals and spend some time each day being active. Try to get enough sleep. Do something nice for yourself, like getting a massage or going out for dinner with friends. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is a practice that involves combining mindfulness and meditation to promote calmness, decrease negativity, and let go of painful thoughts. Rather than trying to avoid specific ideas, mindfulness meditation promotes accepting feelings without judgment. Observing feelings without judgment can redirect your attention to the present moment without dwelling on the past, which helps decrease anxiety. Make new connections. One way to cope with the ache of missing someone is to make new connections with other people. You might try joining social groups in your area or try online dating. If you don't feel like you're ready to start dating again, spending time with friends and family can help fill the void you are experiencing. Find closure. Gaining a sense of closure after the end of a relationship might be helpful when you still miss someone. 3. Some ways to find closure include getting rid of things that remind you of the relationship, removing them on all of your social media platforms, and accepting that the relationship wasn't right. Gain insight. Journaling about your feelings and experiences can be a helpful way to understand better what you are going through and why you feel the way you do. Try focusing on writing about what you have learned rather than ruminating on negative or painful thoughts. Gratitude journaling can be a helpful and effective strategy for improving your mental outlook. Recap. Missing someone is a natural feeling that everyone has to go through. It is a feeling that can be hard to cope with, but there are ways to make it easier. Are you currently missing a special someone? Here's how to cope. A word from Very Well. If you still miss someone after a relationship has ended, it is crucial to recognize that these feelings are normal. While such emotions are complicated, remembering why the relationship didn't work out in the first place may help you find ways to move on. There's nothing wrong with missing someone you cared about, even if you don't necessarily want them to be part of your life anymore. Instead of dwelling on the pain of missing them, it can be helpful to focus on feeling a sense of gratitude for the positive experiences you shared. If you are struggling and you don't feel like you have a good support system, it may be helpful to find a therapist to talk to about what you are going through and to help with your healing. How to get over someone. The end of a relationship is never easy. Breakups are filled with raw emotions, including everything from hurt and betrayal to anger and sadness. But, although heartbreak may feel like the end of the world, the reality is that the pain and anguish you feel right now is only temporary. Eventually, you'll be able to move on and one day you'll find love again. In fact, research indicates that it takes about 11 weeks to feel better after a dating relationship ends, according to a study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology. 1 Meanwhile, a separate study found that it may take up to 18 months to heal if it's a marriage that ends. 2 Either way, neither situation goes on forever. Just remember that getting over heartbreak and moving on is a grieving process that looks different for everyone. Consequently, don't hold yourself to any set time frame. There are a lot of factors that impact your healing, including how long you were together, the memories and traditions you shared, and even if you had children together. But you will get through it. Why breaking up hurts so much? Relationships with others form the foundation of a person's life. As a result, when you lose a relationship, especially one that you considered important and central to your life, it's like losing a part of yourself. It is not uncommon to feel like you have lost your sense of meaning and purpose in life. You may even feel like you lost a huge part of yourself. And, in some respects you did. You will not be the same person you were when you were with your ex. But if you wallow in that feeling of loss and shaken identity for too long, you will end up clinging to your past and desperately trying to fix the relationship so that you can get your ex and yourself back. As difficult and painful as it might be to accept, you have to let that part of you and your life go. It's part of the past. Yes, it is hard. But you can do it. You can take the steps needed to get on with your life. How to get through a breakup. Getting over someone has a lot to do with how you think about the breakup, your ex, and even yourself. Consequently, as you navigate the muddy waters of your breakup, you need to continually remind yourself that this is a process, not a destination. Not only do you need to be patient with yourself, but you also need to take this time to really think about who you are, who your ex was, and why your relationship didn't work out. Learning from this experience will not only make you stronger, but it also will help you know what you want in a relationship and maybe have more success the next time around. Here are some steps to processing your breakup and getting on with your life. Take your time. Getting over an ex is a process. It is not something you can rush through. What's more, you should avoid rebound dating at all costs. While going out immediately after a breakup may put a band-aid on your pain, it won't cure it. And as hard as it might be, you have to face your feelings and deal with them in honest and effective ways. Sure, this process stinks. It takes a lot of time, energy, and hard work to process your feelings and emotions. But, in the end, it will be worth it, because you will come out stronger and better than you were before. Allow yourself to feel. No one enjoys experiencing pain. But the fact of the matter is, you have to allow yourself to feel if you are going to heal. Ignoring your feelings, pretending like they don't exist, or trying to numb them in some way is only going to set back your recovery. Be honest about the hurt, pain, and rejection you are feeling. There is no shame in being sad. Chances are, you spent a good portion of your life with this person, and breaking up is bound to cause some very strong emotions. It's only when you take an honest look at how the breakup made you feel that you will be able to navigate through your emotions in a healthy way. Ask for help. It's rare that people come to a decision to end the relationship at the same time. So, when a breakup occurs, one side is usually shocked and hurt. Consequently, these feelings of shock, rejection, hurt, and even betrayal can be difficult to navigate, especially alone. Talk to your friends about how you are feeling. Just be careful not to dwell on your breakup every time you talk. Be a considerate friend and sincerely ask about their lives as well. If you find that you need more support than what a friend should be expected to provide, consider talking with a therapist, counselor, or religious leader. They are trained to help people navigate breakups. The best online therapy programs we've tried, tested and written unbiased reviews of the best online therapy programs including Talkspace, BetterHelp, and Regain. Remove your ex from your social media. Nothing will set your healing back more than stalking your ex on social media. Every time you see a post with their smiling face, it will be like ripping a scab off the wound. The bleeding and pain start all over again. So unfollow them on all your accounts. Even though it is tempting to see what your ex is up to, making a clean break is better for your healing process. There is a certain amount of peace and comfort that comes from not knowing what they are up to and who they are spending time with. Allow yourself that. Avoid drunk communication. Nothing's worse than getting drunk and texting or calling your ex to ask what went wrong. Usually, when people are intoxicated, they lose their filter, and you are likely to say some things that you will regret in the morning. For this reason, you may want to remove your ex's contact information from your phone and delete their email account from your computer. Better yet, avoid drinking excessively altogether. Drunk dialing your ex never turns out the way you might hope, and in the morning you are likely to experience shame and embarrassment. What's more, your ex could share your voicemail messages or text messages with other people, further compounding your embarrassment. For your sake, you should avoid situations like this at all costs. View the relationship honestly. Take an objective look at what the relationship was really like. To do this, you will have to stop idealizing your ex and stop dwelling on the good memories and experiences. While it is natural to look at the past through rose-colored glasses, it is not reality. Choose to take an honest look at your relationship. You could start by making a list of all the things your ex did that annoyed you. What you may discover is that your ex wasn't as awesome as you thought. Perhaps you were involved in an emotionally abusive or financially abusive relationship. Maybe your ex was controlling or struggled with jealousy. Whatever issues existed, be sure you remind yourself of those instead of focusing only on the good things. Take care of yourself. Just because your partner has ended a relationship does not mean that you are unworthy or unlovable. As a result, you need to focus not on what you might have done wrong, but instead focus on what you can do to feel better in the moment. This might mean taking time every day to pamper yourself in some way. Get a massage. Read a good book. Enjoy a cup of hot chocolate. Take a long bath. Whatever makes you feel comforted and cared for, now is the time to do that if you can. However, this is not the time to drink excessively, binge on fast food, or call off work repeatedly. In the end, those things will not make you feel better. They are temporary fixes, and in the morning your pain and discomfort will still be there. Rediscover who you are. If your identity was tightly wrapped up in your relationship with your ex, now is a perfect time to rediscover who you are. Find out who you are outside the context of the relationship. Rushing to fill the void you are experiencing without knowing who you are and what you want is a huge mistake. It's also a recipe for disaster and ultimately more heartache. Many times, relationships fail because couples are not compatible or have different goals or needs. Make sure you take the time to discover who you are and what you want. Journal your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it's helpful to pour out your heart with pen and paper. In fact, it can be downright cathartic to journal your thoughts. So grab a journal and start writing. You may even want to write a letter to your ex expressing all your thoughts and feelings. Just don't send it. The simple process of writing out how you feel as if you are talking to them is very healing on its own. Besides, what you write in your letter most likely is not something you will want to share a week or two from now. Right now, your feelings are raw. Get them out, but keep them to yourself. Let go of anger and blame. Holding on to anger, resentment, and blame is not healthy. It will eat you up inside. Instead, focus on letting go of your anger and blame. Remind yourself that forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about freeing yourself from being tied to your ex. When you hold on to anger and resentment, or if you blame your ex for the breakup, these feelings keep you tethered to them. And you can't heal as long as you're still connected even if the emotions connecting you are negative. As a result, focus on letting go of your anger and stopping the blame game. Instead, train your eyes on the future and focus on how you want things to be different in your life the next time around. Turn it into a positive. Contrary to popular belief, a breakup does not have to be a bad thing. It actually can be a good thing, especially if you are no longer in a toxic relationship. Instead of focusing on the negatives surrounding the breakup, look for ways to turn it into a positive. For instance, does being single allow you more time to pursue your passions or volunteer for a worthy cause? Can you take that trip you have always dreamed of taking? Look for ways to be thankful the relationship has ended, rather than dwelling on the pain. When you do, then you will begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and being single won't seem like such a horrible thing. Remember, there are others out there. As hard as it might be to see this right now, you will have another relationship if you want one. You can meet new people and date again. Do not allow yourself to fall into the trap of believing that this person was your soulmate, and now you will be alone forever. There is no such thing as one person for you. Dating and relationships are about making choices, and there are plenty of people to choose from. If you remind yourself of that on a regular basis, you will be less devastated over time. A word from very well. Eventually, you will be back out there dating again if you want to be. And, even if you choose not to, that's fine too. You will never be defined by your relationships. You have the same value and worth in life, regardless of whether you are in a relationship or doing life alone. You matter and make a difference in the world. Never forget that. How do you know when it's time to break up? Many of us don't break up with a significant other when we should, for many different reasons. Some of us are afraid to be alone, others fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy. I've already invested so much time and effort in this relationship. I can't give up now. Point 1. But most of us just ignore the signs that a relationship is falling apart, because it's easier to believe that everything is okay until it's not. Knowing exactly when a relationship should be ended is a difficult task. It depends on the people involved and on the situation they live in. But there is fairly consistent evidence about the signs of relationship breakdown, unearthed by Dr. John Gottman. The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Gottman discovered 4 negative communication styles that spell disaster for any and all relationships. He dubbed these the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. 2. Criticism. The first horseman of communication is criticism. Criticizing is different than critiquing or complaining. Criticism is about the person's character, rather than their behavior. Here is the difference between a complaint and a criticism. Complaint. I really wish you would help me with the dishes. It's a lot of work to do by myself, and while you relax on the sofa watching TV, I have to stay up and clean. Criticism. You're just a selfish jerk. You never think about how I feel or all the work I do for you. The difference is that the first one is about a specific behavior, and the second is about the partner as a person. When criticism is present in a relationship, it doesn't mean that it's doomed to end. Once in a while, when we're angry, we can resort to criticism. But when it becomes pervasive and when it is the only way you can bring up issues with each other, there's a big problem. If you criticize your partner constantly or feel like your partner is constantly criticizing you, it's just a matter of time before it turns into something nastier. Contempt. The relationship may be salvageable at this point, but it is a bad sign, and it should make you consider whether leaving may be a better option. Talking to your husband or wife about difficult topics. Defensiveness. The second horseman is defensiveness, and it is typically in response to criticism or perceived criticism. Defensiveness is an attempt to defend yourself from a perceived attack with a counter-complaint. We can be defensive by shifting blame onto external situations, but more often than not we are defensive by shifting blame onto the partner calling for accountability. Point 2. Here's an example of a defensive response. Complaint. I feel like our sex life has been a bit stale lately, and I feel like you're not really paying attention to my needs and desires in bed. Defensive response. Well, if you didn't nag me about the dishes all the time, maybe I'd want to have sex with you. In general, humans do not like to be told they are doing something wrong or hurting other people. We have a tendency to want to think well of ourselves, and conversations like this threaten our self-esteem. Defensiveness is really just a way of shifting the blame back onto your partner. You're saying that the problem isn't you, it's them. Refusing to take even a small amount of responsibility for your role in the situation can cause your partner to feel unseen and unheard. Talking to your husband or wife about difficult topics. Being constantly defensive in a relationship is a bad sign. It means that the defensive partner is not willing to look at their own behavior and adjust it to stop whatever is harming the other partner. It means that the defensive partner is treating the other as simply an object to fulfill their needs, and not a whole person with needs, feelings, and ideas of their own. If your partner constantly reacts defensively towards you, and you to them, it may be time you take a good hard look at your relationship. It may be time to end things. Contempt. The third horseman is contempt. We show contempt when we treat others with disrespect. Contempt can be expressed in many different ways. When we insult others, we use sarcasm, mimic them, roll our eyes, or scoff at them. We call them names or ridicule them. The purpose of this behavior is to diminish the other, to make them feel worthless. If you've ever been treated with contempt, you know how much it hurts. And treating a partner with contempt shows that you have no respect for them, their feelings, or their needs. When contempt is present in a relationship, it's a big red flag. It means that the partners have stopped respecting each other as partners and are now just trying to assert dominance. There is little love or respect left anymore, and animosity and resentment will grow. If you are being treated this way, there's a very good chance that your partner just doesn't care for you anymore. If you are treating your partner with contempt, ask yourself why you're still with them. If there is no respect between partners, there is little chance that the relationship can be salvaged. Stonewalling. The last horseman is stonewalling, and it is the most damaging behavior to engage in. Just as defensiveness is a response to criticism, stonewalling is usually a response to contempt. When stonewalling appears in a relationship, communication has essentially broken down. Stonewalling occurs when the listener avoids eye contact, withdraws, shuts down, or simply stops responding to their partner. Point 2. When a relationship has reached the stage of stonewalling, it's very difficult, although not impossible, to recover. But it should be a very strong sign that maybe it's time to move along with your life. This is the feeling when you'd rather do anything else than have the conversation. You only talk when absolutely necessary, and any foray into more vulnerable territory is met with a quick escape or silence. How stonewalling harms a relationship. Should you break up? The important thing to remember is that all couples engage in criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling at times. But consistently using one or more of these behaviors is a definite sign that something is not right in your relationship. Of course, if you're both willing to put in the work, a couples therapist may be able to help you both stop using these communication strategies and give you the tools to effectively communicate your emotions. Ultimately, you are the best judge of your own relationship and situation.